What did you learn from your team from that first exhibition?
Well, there's a lot of positives. I think they needed to learn more than I did. We got so many new guys. They need to learn it's not going to be easy. That it's going to be a lot harder than they think, especially to win games. Just a lot tougher to get to be a good player at this level than it was where they came from. So I think what happens, you gotta go through that process, and then some guys are willing to do what it takes to get better and become a really good player at this level, and that's really when you find out what's going on. But as far as our team, nothing that really happened surprised me. I was happy. I would say this: I was really happy with our ball movement. Everybody was, for the most part, we were throwing the extra pass. And that's something we've worked really hard on, is being a team that shares the ball, moves the ball. And we were trying to get the ball inside against a team that was doing everything they could to stop us, to get it inside. So I was happy with a lot of things that went on offensively. And defensively, because of the way they spread us out and their big guys can shoot threes, I knew we were going to struggle. So it wasn't a surprise. But it was good for us, because now I get to obviously to show that to the guys on the film the last few days, and we got to get better. I would say one disappointing thing would be the defense of our veterans. But it's an adjustment for them. Justin Jackson not walking through that door. Titus Rubel's not walking through that door. So when you lose your man, they can't switch out and take him and stop him. And when you get beat off the dribble, they're not there to block the shot. You got rookies. You're playing with rookies. They can't right now can't cover for you. So, my message to Shaq and Jermaine, G in particular, those guys, and even Kevin and Troy, is you guys have got to be the veteran guys. You got to cover for the other guys. Yeah. You can't. The days of your big guys covering for you all the time are over. You got to cover for them. You got to be so good that it's easy on the big guys. So that's an adjustment for us. Mm-hmm. In a game setting, that wasn't going to come out, I don't think, till we got into a game setting. It is, and I think to me that's what really showed. That those guys it's almost like they're security blanket. And those guys are gone. Yeah. Defensively.
They have to be the security blankets now.
Yeah, and and that's a process. But around here, that's how you continue to win. Your young guys, they shouldn't need help anymore. They should be the guys doing the helping, because they've been coached, they've played in big games, and if we're going to win, that's why I keep saying I'm not worried about our scoring. Those guys, our veterans, don't have to be our best offensive players, but they've got to be our best defensive players, fundamentally speaking. And they can do that. So in coaching, you don't try to ask guys. You never want to ask people to do stuff they can't do. But a veteran guy should be fundamentally sound defensively. He's been in practices here. They've been trained.
Fairmont State, what do they do? Well,
I have no idea.
No idea. Haven't looked at them.
I know that Jared Calhoun is a friend of mine. He's a great young coach. His team's going to play really hard, and we're playing them because they give us a different look than Bellarmine. They're more athletic than Bellarmine is. They're quicker defensively. They're going to try to pressure us where Bellarmine tried to pack it in. They're going to try to pressure us. So it's a different type of game, but at the same time, he's a great coach. And I want our guys to have to deal with the things that he's going to have his team do against us.
I think they're picked to win their league.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Jared told me.
Number one team in the country.
What's that?
Or second behind the number one team in the
country.
Oh,
okay. So, I mean, he told me they were going to have a really good team. So, when he got the job, we were talking. I said, when you're going to be really good, I want to, let's play. So, in this situation, to me, you're better off playing a game than a scrimmage if you can play a very good team that can give you problems and force your guys to make adjustments and give you resistance. So, you know, I'm hoping it's a great game Saturday. I know everybody's thinking, what do you mean? You should blow them out. You know, I'd say that would do us no good.
How big is that in your philosophy to not schedule those games where you're winning 50 to 18 at halftime? Because it doesn't really.
Well, because we got a young team, it's really important because, you know, you're 6 days away from your opener. So it's be a waste of time they're better off just scrimmaging, playing each other, and you playing against a bad team that doesn't have discipline and toughness. And one thing about Jared's team, you know, they're gonna be athletic, and they're gonna physically compete with us, and that's what we need. In a different way than Bellarmine too. So it'll be good to see a different style.
What do you expect to get from Jermaine Sanders this year? What do you think his role is?
I think he's got to give us. He's got to be a voice for us, and he's number one. What I was talking about defensively, he's got to be mistake-free, and he's got to be an anchor. When I say that, he doesn't have to block shots. He doesn't have to get a lot of steals. He got to always be in the right spot and make sure his teammates are in the right spot. And on offense, he's just make open shots. He can really make open shots. And we got enough ball movement. We got enough inside play that, you know, like once we got the ball moving and we got it inside back out, you saw he was going on a run and making shots because Bellarmine was helping so much on the interior against us.
And he looks like he looks for his shot a lot more than he used.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, last year was big for him. He shot over 41% from three.
Yeah.
He's worked extremely hard on his game, and he's got every right to be confident. You know, I think people always say, you hear people say, you know, he just needs confidence. Well, it's hard to be confident on 4-foot putts when you never make one. Last year he made shots in big games, and he had a good year. He shot over 40%, so he is confident.
I would think not many people know he was your leading three-point shooter last year.
Yeah, you know, because people look at points per game. They don't look at – coaches look at percentages.
Yeah.
You know, I can assure you that. When we get – not just our own players, when we get a scouting report, first thing we look at is three-point shooting is the guy's percentage. And over a course of an entire year, over 40% is tremendous. You know, some people can shoot that for a couple weeks, but they don't sustain it over the course of the year.
Overall, how'd you think the big guys handled themselves game one?
Well, Jamari didn't get a chance to play, so, you know, really, so it's hard to adjust. You know, you see Corey's great offensively, he struggles defensively. You know, I thought Octavius played great. I just told him he's got to get in shape. He's got to be able to play extended minutes, and he's got to do a better job of protecting the rim. He let guys behind his head too much against Bellarmine, which they're great at it, but it's still he's got to do a better job of that. You know, we gave up too many layups. And then Quadri and Gary, the hardest thing for them is at this level, you're defending older players that can beat them off the dribble. That's a big adjustment for those guys. Very, very big. When you're 6'7", like Gary, or 6'9", like Quad in high school, you didn't play perimeter defense. You know, your coach puts you in the paint, and that's pretty much all you ever did. You know, you didn't have to come out on the perimeter in rotations or actually guard. Like in our level, people play 4 guards like we used to, and that's a challenge. And that's where I'm going to have to make some adjustments. And you know, we're not going to play all basic man-to-man. You know, that's why I said when we were a different team than we were a year ago, where Titus could guard all 5 guys. You know, if you're playing Quadri and Gary a lot at the power forward spot, or whatever you want to call it, they're going to have games where they got bad matchups against some 6'6" small forward that's going to play in the NBA. That's a problem. So that's where we're going to have to make adjustments to help protect those guys.